Namaskar. Hello, friends. We are starting a new session. Today, we will look at what human life means in a metaphysical sense. Life is an addiction. Many of us, especially children and young people, are quite addicted to playing video games. In a typical video game, there is a hero with some weapon like a gun and he goes around killing enemies. For that, the player has to operate different keys, move the hero, and shoot to kill. As he kills, his score increases. He also has to save himself from the enemy. If he gets shot, his score decreases. Thus, there are many ups and downs in the game which the player finds exciting. When the player finishes all the enemies, he wins. Then he is asked if he wants to play again with a higher level of difficulty. More often than not, the player says yes and the game continues. It is only when the player does not have any more time to play that he will say no for continuing and then the game ends. Human life is like that video game. Embodied soul, that is Jivatma, has come into this world to play the game of life. He finds it interesting and exciting with the pains and pleasures that he keeps experiencing from time to time. He never wants to quit. Even when it is time to die, he has a desire to come back with another body in a new life and continue the game. Only when the Jivatma develops Vairagya Bhav, that is detachment, that he no more wants to continue playing the game of life. He withdraws from it mentally and starts contemplating on what may be beyond the physical world. Then his mind becomes steady in the absence of the ups and downs of life. He experiences what is called bliss, which is happiness independent of the sense organs. Now, how and when does one develop Vairagya? That is a question that can be answered in only one way, by divine grace, often through a guru. The guru turns the disciple's mind away from the physical to the metaphysical, and that helps develop Vairagya gradually. Ask if the world exists. It's an interesting question. Most people setting out on the spiritual path tend to ask the question, does God exist? This question has three possible answers: yes, maybe, no. Since nobody can prove or disprove the existence of God, all three answers may be equally right for the respective followers. I feel we should instead ask, does the world really exist? The reason is we can't see God, so questions about God will remain unanswered. But we can see the world. However, just because we can see the world and experience it with our bodily senses, can we say it exists? What is the definition of existence? Are our bodily senses so completely reliable for us to say that the world exists? When we are seeing a dream, the dream world does exist for the duration of the dream. We can see it and our senses experience it as if it is real. But when we wake up, we say the dream wasn't real. So, what is real and what is existence? It seems everything is relative to a certain state of consciousness that we are in. So, even the so called real world exists only in the kind of consciousness we have in our waking state. If and when that waking state consciousness changes to another state, the real world would be gone up in smoke, just like the dream world vanishes in an instant. Then, shouldn't we, as spiritual seekers, at least learn to take the real world and our life in it with a pinch of salt, or rather a bucket full of salt? Every single life is exactly performing its assigned mission. In an assembly line for manufacturing cars, each person is assigned to do a particular task. Some task may appear important or better than another. For example, fixing the engine may appear to be more important than tightening a screw on the doorknob. However, each task is as required as any other, and the car is not complete until each and every single task is done properly. This creation can be viewed as an assembly line with each of us assigned a particular life mission. Nobody's life is better or worse than anybody else's. Each life achieves something that is assigned to it by the Creator. The final product is not visible to us, but rest assured that your life is exactly performing its assigned task every single moment in accordance with the Creator's plan. However, this does not mean we should not be working towards improvement or change. In fact, when we think of bringing about a change or improvement, that also is a part of our life's mission. But our mindset or attitude while working towards change is important. It should not be because I am not happy with the way things are at present. Rather, it should be with this attitude that the Creator wants me to work towards a change. So, in other words, even the working towards change should be more as a duty towards the Creator rather than as fulfillment of my desire for something better. What it takes to live in peace is a constant awareness of this fact without letting in our conditioned judgment of what is good, bad, better, worse, desirable, undesirable. In other words, we should be able to tell ourselves all the time that this life is for the Creator, by the Creator, and of the Creator. Purpose behind human life. If I am or anyone is asked the question, were you responsible for coming into existence in this world? The answer has to be no. It then follows that there is something or someone else that was responsible for my coming into existence. Now, wait a minute before you proceed to say that your parents were responsible for bringing you into existence. That is true, but only superficial. If you drill down deeper, you will face the following questions. Who made your parents capable of procreating you? Who motivated and actually moved them into the required action? And then you will realize that there is an invisible entity or power that is behind your coming into existence. It also follows that the purpose behind you coming into existence has to be of that invisible entity or power. In all likelihood, that purpose may be quite different from what you have come to define and understand it to be. Of course, that original purpose of your existence may actually be what it seems to you. But more important than that is the strong likelihood of it not being what it seems to you. So, wisdom lies in telling oneself that whatever has already happened must have served that purpose, though it may not have met your expectation or served your purpose. My conscious concept of I came into existence after I was born in this world. It was formed and nourished by the world around me. My life gets driven all the time by this I. However, I forget the most crucial fact that there is something that predates this I coming into existence in this world. Let us call it soul. This soul was the one that desired to assume an embodied existence in this physical world. This I that I am conscious of every single waking moment wasn't the one who decided to come into this world. Then shouldn't I remember this fact all the time and tell myself that the soul knew what it would be in for when it chose to come into this world? Shouldn't I stop judging everything that happens since I is the only incidental to or a byproduct of the soul's objective in this life? At best, this I, as the doer, that is Karta, and experiencer, that is Bhokta, may be the vehicle that is used by the soul for attaining that purpose. But by themselves, the experiences, as judged by the I, are not what the soul is experiencing. The soul is perceiving the experiences in an altogether different way than what I am perceiving them as. I, in other words, is like a parasite that grows on a tree as an incidental creation. A tree parasite has to simply accept what it gets from the tree. It can't judge or expect anything of its own. Let's stop here today. Goodbye until the next time. Thank you.